And this is the first foam roller I'm going to show you. So I want to show you something about this foam roller. Look at this. You can bend this. So this is a more gentle foam roller. And the way I have these stacked are not by gentleness. So this would be the next gentle. This is, trigger point foam rollers. And I love these because they have different textures. And each of these textures is kind of like knuckles, or if you think about massage, so I want you to think about this as a massage. This is a gift that we're gonna give to our bodies. This is not a painful experience that we get to push through. So and notice the different lengths of the foam rollers as well. This one, somebody in my building never used, and they left it downstairs because I think they were so afraid of it, they didn't know what to do. And this would not be your entry point foam roller. This is like, talk about mega knuckles, talk about some mega, like digging into the muscles. That's what a foam roller like this does. So I'm gonna place these all off to the side. I want you to, in the chat, if you have any special requests, let me know. Grab water for sure, because just like a massage, this is gonna be releasing toxins from our muscles into our bloodstream. So we want to make sure we're cleansing it all out. And let's start in a comfortable seat. I'm actually gonna bring a seat over here because for me, sitting cross-legged is not comfortable. I have really tight hips. So if sitting in a chair feels good, join me in the chair. And here we are, hallelujah. Let's close our eyes if that feels good to you. So finding whatever a comfortable seat is for you. I'm Amy Woe. This is Disco Wellness. I'm so excited to have you here today. If you've joined me for other offerings, you're already noticing that this is very different from my normal energy, my normal high intensity, but we always get to balance that high intensity, our runs, our jogs, our walks even, our bike rides, our high intensity interval training yoga class with moments like this. So let's all come together with breath. Eyes opened or closed. Find some grounding of your hands to your lap or somewhere on your body or somewhere on the ground. Maybe it's one hand to ground, one hand to heart. And let's take a deep breath in through the nose. Relaxing the shoulders down and back. Exhale through an open mouth. Let's do that 2 more times. And on these inhales and exhales, I want you to emphatically bring the shoulders up into the ears on the inhale. So let's do that now. Inhale. And then exhale, allow those shoulders to drop down dramatically. Let's do that one 2 more times. I know I said 2 on the previous time, but let's do this 2 more times. Inhale, shoulders up into the ears, scrunch your face, make little tight, tiny fists with your hands. And then exhale, let it go. 1 more time. Inhale, scrunch everything up. You're not going to make scrunchy face when you find those tight muscles on your foam roller. Get that scrunchy face out of the way now. And then exhale, let it go. So now, taking a couple minutes just to do a body scan, starting at the top of your head, moving the same side ear to same side shoulder. Oh my goodness. Foam rolling the neck is one of my favorite things to do. So I'm saying certain things out loud as a reminder to myself. I don't have an assistant here with me today to remind me what to share with you. So neck foam rolling is one of the best gifts we can give ourselves. How is your neck doing today? Maybe take some neck rolls here. Another neck mobility thing that I like to do is to look over one shoulder and then look over the other shoulder, just turning the head gently left and right, sitting up nice and tall wherever you are in that comfortable seat. And then take that gaze up and down. Oh my goodness, a surprisingly fun foam roll. I don't know if fun is the right adjective, but a surprising foam roll that I discovered in my body the other night was rolling my head. Weird, I know. So I'm gonna keep encouraging you throughout our session today to explore your body. If I'm taking you through a part that's particularly scary, what do we know about scary things, folks? It's usually something that we get to address It's something that we get to speak to, we get to have a conversation with. So if you're particularly scared about your quads being tight, we get to address those quads today. That's going to be one of the first things we do. And I'm so happy that that was the first request of the day, because and let's continue the body scan as I'm talking. How are the shoulders doing? Roll the shoulders to the front. Roll them to the back. Any tension? I love rolling the shoulders on a foam roller. Oh my goodness. One of my personal training and fitness teaching gigs is with a company here in Emeryville. Wink, wink. I think at least one of you is here with us today. Discovered foam rolling the shoulders in one of those sessions, and that's what the foam rolling is all about, discovery. Let's continue the body scan down. Let's in fact find a seated twist here. This is going to open up space in our ribs. We want to open up space before we start to roll things down. Inhale, both arms reach up to the sky. Twist your body off to one side, doesn't matter which. Take whatever hand is coming over towards the outside edge of the opposite leg. Other hand wraps around the back. You can even slip that hand into your back pocket or the back of your chair or the floor if you're seated on the floor. If you're joining us on Facebook, I'm not going to interact with you. I love you. I love that you're here, but I only have Zoom open for the chat. Like I said, I don't have an assistant with me today, so I'm limited with how much I can interact. But I will say this, Facebook, not only do I love you, if you have any questions, put them into the chat and I'll address them after the workshop. Inhale, both arms reach back up to the sky. Let's take this twist over to the other side. So foam rolling is a great tool to use as a warm-up and as a cool down. So a stretch before and after a more intense session of movement, or as a way to wake yourself, and again, think of it as a bookend. Inhale, both arms back up to the sky. Bring both hands to the lap. Let's do some seated cat-cows. Inhale, chest comes forward, tailbone comes up in the back there, gaze is forward and up. And then exhale, round the upper back. See how your upper back is doing. That's where we hold a lot of tension. We're gonna get into the upper back, you know we are. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, belly drops, gaze lifts, tailbone lifts. If you're on your mat, you can very well find these as full-on cat-cows. Exhale, round through the upper back. Inhale, lift the chest up. In fact, I'm gonna come off of my chair and come down onto the mat. After this cat, round through the upper back. Come back to a neutral spine. Let's all come into a tabletop. So foam rolling, like I was saying, a great way to get the body prepped for a more intense form of movement. I'm just gonna grab my phone. I have a couple of notes, a little cheat sheet, if you will. This is also a great time to grab a sip of water. You know, and you don't have to worry, you don't have to wait for me to tell you when. Always grab some sips. So from our tabletop, and this is gonna get us primed for our first roll. From tabletop, let's take some big hip circles of hips back towards the heels. So I often start most of my higher intensity classes like this, creating some mobility in the hip sockets. Get those big circles in the opposite direction. Oh, and we have the luxury. I was gonna make this a 30-minute workshop, and then I was like, why rush this? Let's enjoy this time together. Come back to your tabletop, press one shoulder forward, find the opposite shoulder reaching towards that same side hip on that side, creating a little C curve in your spine. And then make that C curve on the other side. Do that a couple times. We call this sexy kitty. In the yoga world. It's a joke. It's not like a real name for this, but just move. And now I want to invite you to move anywhere in the spine that feels good. So things to keep in mind when we're foam rolling: you never want to roll over bony bits. You don't want to roll over any joints. You want to keep it to the muscle. And what's happening, and I'm going to consult my cheat sheet right now, you keep exploring your spine. So what people often think about foam rolling is that you are breaking up knots in the muscles. I know I always used to think that was what was happening, but that's not what's happening. What's actually happening is that we're stimulating the nervous system to relax the tension surrounding the tissue. So that's where we're getting into the fascia. We're getting into that connective tissue area that surrounds everything internally, our muscles, our organs. The other thing I love about foam rolling is that it helps move the lymph. So our lymphatic system needs our help. Let's come back to a neutral tabletop And I want you to grab your foam roller of whatever length. So one thing I'm going to say about having the variation of different intensities of foam rollers, I want you to think about a massage. Think about this whole thing as a self-massage. That's what it is. But think about, and if it's been a long time since you've gotten a massage, maybe after this workshop, you go online and you book one for yourself. Think about you getting a massage. They start really lightly, right? The massage therapist wants to identify where your knots are, where your tension is. And then they increasingly get deeper and deeper. So we're gonna do that same kind of approach with our foam roller. Now, bring your foam roller from your tabletop position right to the top of your knees. And then we're gonna drape our bodies over the foam roller. We're gonna get right into the quads right off the bat. So when you think about building up strength and just start to explore. So I like to think about major muscle groups in 3 distinct sections. And I like to hang out in each of those 3 sections. So for example, with our quads, the first section would be right where your hip flexors are. So get that foam roller right into the hip sockets, right into the hip crease rather. And think about forward and back always now with any body area that we're going into. Think of forward and back and left and right, because there's so many secret little nooks and crannies of tension. So just like a massage, if you have various levels of tension foam roller wise, like I do here, you want to start with the lighter one and then work your way up to the more intense ones. I don't know what you want to do, but ideally you want to start more gently and then work your way into those tight areas. So things that I love to do from here, especially in this first section of the quads, is to get onto the sides and get into the hips, giving this left and right roll. And now once you feel satisfied with that section, you place the foam roller just a few inches lower. So now we're in this is where it gets intense. And thank you so much for requesting this one. I'm not gonna call out who requested it, although I don't think that was a private message. So the meaty part of the quads, this often gets really intense. This I think is the one that scares people the most, the quad roll. And ways to intensify, so by having both legs or both body parts on the foam roller, you have a bigger surface area that's on the foam roller. So it's not as intense. What's gonna happen though, is if you have a smaller foam roller, a shorter foam roller, where you can really pinpoint a certain area, you're gonna get more intensity. Now move that foam roller a little further down towards the knees, but not on the knees, never roll the knees. And actually, I will say this is probably the part that gets the most icky for me. So a way that you can reduce the amount of pressure is to have your feet on the floor. When you lift your feet up, so if you want to experiment, lifting your feet up is going to make this way more intense. You don't have the support of the floor beneath you. And see how I have both of my feet together and I'm rolling left and right on the meaty part of the quad. Ooh. Now I just read something recently that I was very surprised by, but I want to share it with you. It was not to roll the IT band, because the IT band, this side area of your leg, it's not a muscle. This is harder connective tissue. And we don't want to actually roll on that. So, but we can get all around it. And this is one of the ways to get around it. So thinking about big muscle groups, once you feel complete here, I think a natural next step is to come to the glutes. So let's roll over, and we're gonna have a seat on the foam roller. Now, if I was doing my own personal session, without an audience, I would probably go into a more firm roller for the quads, and I would actually work my way up. So I would go to the medium, and then I would go to the super gritty one that has like the claws. But for us today, let's come onto the seat, come onto the foam roller, and this is a perfect time to introduce a couple different ways to roll. So you can do it nice and slow, exploring, seeing where that tension is. And then there's a whole camp of foam rolling where you're kind of gyrating, for lack of a better term. You're kind of moving really fast and just kind of working. So think about that. Think about the different forms of massage too, right? There's Swedish massage, there's shiatsu. There's so many different ways to get into the muscles. So explore. I'm just going to keep encouraging you to explore. So from the seat, I like to roll over onto the hips, onto the outer glutes. If you were with me this morning for our HIIT yoga session, this is going to feel really good. So I think I said that earlier. I at the end of every day, I'm at the very minimum going to sit my butt down on a foam roller for 5 minutes. And sometimes that's all it takes. Sometimes I call those my maintenance rolls. So another little secret, I'm just going to keep dropping little gems. If nobody's chatting with me, I'm just going to keep chatting at you. That wasn't a threat. You can just enjoy your roll. That's what we're here for. So hamstrings. Let's talk about hamstrings. Before we get to hamstrings first, let's take a figure 4. This one is one of my favorite ways to open up space in the outer hip and glute. So I'm starting with my left ankle across my right upper thigh, and then take this to the left and the right. Ooh, yeah. And I personally don't feel that much on this. I don't feel that much on this one. So I'm going to take my shorter one that's a little bit, this is my medium tension, I guess you could say, medium tension. Oh yes. So this is like the next level right here. It's getting a little bit deeper. So what's actually happening, I started this thought and I never finished it, I just realized, is we're not getting through the knots of the muscles. Oh no, I guess I did seal that off. We're letting the nervous system know to relax. And it's a very similar effect in stretching. So in stretching, let's find the other side if you're ready. Crossing opposite heel or opposite ankle over the other thigh. So what happens in stretching is very interesting. For the first 15, 20 seconds of a stretch, your muscles are freaking out. They're like, ooh, we don't trust you. We don't know what you're trying to do here. And then all of a sudden, they relax. And they start to relax even more because they start to trust. I was part of a leadership program that always said, trust the process. And that's very, very akin to stretching. Just trust the process. Ooh. And if you find a special saucy, sticky part, spend a couple extra breaths there. Another good reminder, take deep breaths through all this. Ooh, oh man, I found something. So I just unhooked my ankle from the opposite thigh, and on my outer glute on the right side, I'm just finding a very, very juicy place. So I'm going to spend a couple of extra moments there, a couple of deep breaths, just like as we're stretching or practicing yoga. The exhale is where tension gets released. So allow the exhale to be like a wave washing over any tense places that you're finding. And as you're finding these tense places, I want you to meet them. Meet them with kindness, not niceness. Nice is fake, kindness is genuine. Meet those tight places with kindness and curiosity, not guilt, blame, or shame, like, oh, I'm so inflexible. Whatever, you are what you are. Take a deep breath in. Open mouth, let it go. All right, booty, how's that booty feeling? Let's see, I think the next place to go, so I like to think about big muscle groups. And I like to hit all the big muscle groups first, and then I like to get into the smaller places. Oh my gosh, we're already 20 minutes in. This should have been an hour. I won't should us. Let's get into the upper back. So, scooching off of the roller. First, we're gonna do 2 different things for the back and for the shoulder blades and that whole upper back area. But the first thing we're gonna do, I have a couple things to show you here, is take it to the midpoint of your back. And then take both fingertips behind the base of the skull. And one of my favorite things to do is just to allow the upper body to drape back over the roller. And I'm actually allowing my head to touch down. So the roller is horizontal as far as its position to the top and bottom of the mat. So it's parallel to the top and bottom of the mat. And for me, it's right across my shoulder blades. And then from there, I like to get into the roll. So you can lift your butt up off the ground, pressing down through your heels. And find this up and down movement. And then just like I mentioned in the very beginning, find right and left. From here, I'm gonna take you into one of my all-time favorite rolls. Actually, there's two. I have so many that I want to show you. Oh my goodness. This might be a two-parter. This workshop might be a two-parter. We might do another foam roll Wednesday next Wednesday. So take this right and left. And look what's happening. I mean, hopefully you're in your own body and you don't even see what's happening in my body, but I have both of my feet wide and I'm letting both knees drop left and right. Wide knees. That's creating mobility in the hip socket. So everything that we just rolled out in the low body, you want to also create mobility there. So keeping everything moving. And then let's do it. We'll just take a little taste. We're just going to take a little taste, just a little sample of the neck roll. We're actually going to end with the neck roll because this is like, you're going to fall asleep right now. So I don't want you to fall asleep, but bring the foam roller. Oh gosh, right underneath your neck. And then talk about a time to explore. This is your time. Look right, look left, press the back of the head into the foam roller. This is where the other night, just 2 nights ago, I discovered foam rolling my head. And if you have a very, you know what? Even if you have a very, I actually found the foam roller of the head on one of my harder, on my knobby one, on my very knobby roller. So don't be afraid of that, of the firmness. If you have one of those classic black foam rollers, that's a very common one. Don't be afraid to press your head as much as feels comfortable or challenging. I don't know if challenging is the right word to use in foam rolling. We want to be relaxed. We want to be releasing. Taking those nice deep breaths. All right, now I really don't want to take you out of this because I know we're all in this like Zen moment, but trust me, trust the process. Roll over to one side, press yourself up, coming up from that fetal position. And now we're gonna keep the foam roller as it is, so parallel to the top and the bottom of the mat. And we're gonna come down onto one side completely. And we're gonna extend the top arm completely. Let me get this one out of the way so you can see what's happening. So arm is gonna extend straight over the foam roller. The foam roller is gonna start right in your armpit. This top leg can be stacked on top of the bottom. You can bring this top leg behind the bottom leg, foot on the floor with the knee bent, whatever feels good. And then what we're gonna do, you could either take the fingertips behind the base of the skull here with the elbow out, or you can have the fingers right in front of you. I like the fingers right in front. And then I want you to roll left and right. So opening up space. We're gonna do another 3-parter here, just like we did on the quads. So we're starting with it right in the armpit. I gotta move on. I can't even feel anything with this light one. So I'm gonna move up to my more firm, oh baby. That's where it is. I hope you're finding some oh baby moments here. Wowzers. So I wanna share with you about this particular roll. I chronically get a pinched nerve in my right shoulder blade. Sometimes it's because of the way I sleep. You might find the same thing. You wake up and you have that pinch in your shoulder blade. Find this nice roll forward and back. And then press through these fingertips, lift yourself up, scooch the foam roller down just a couple of inches. Oh, baby. And then start that forward and backwards roll. You're gonna feel this now coming more into the pectoral muscles, the chest muscles. Oh, we hold so much tension there. But back to how I found this and why I show everybody this roll. I still do get a chronic pinch nerve in my right shoulder blade, but now I know. As soon as I wake up, if I feel even the slightest tinge of that pinch, I get right down on the foam roller and I get it right out. And this is the way I do it. It's 3 parts. So whenever we're doing something that isn't getting both sides at the same time, like our quad roll did, we're getting both legs at the same time. You want to always make sure you do both sides. Even if you're doing something that's for an acute flare up of something, always do the other side as well. Just as a way to check in. And now let's lift up. Let's find one more notch down. So you don't really want to be on your ribs as much, because again, we don't want to go over any bony bits. But this third point down, this is where you really are gonna get it. You're gonna feel this. And the interesting thing that I find in foam rolling is that if you have tension on one side, you might actually feel the nerves kind of light up on the very opposite side, because everything's connected. Our bodies are mirrors. Woo! All right, so let's switch to the other side, because you know, gotta do both sides, gotta keep it even. So again, I'm gonna start in the most meaty part of the, what is this, armpits. And again, I like to have my fingers planted here, in front of the body. And my knees on this side just came into this very supportive, like fetal position. This actually feels really good. I've never done it this way before. If you need extra support and love, find one knee stacked on top of the other. Oh my goodness. And just like any other part on your body, if you find a particularly sticky spot, take a few deep breaths into that sticky spot. Allow the tension to be what it is, and then allow it to just wash away on the exhale. And when I say just, I know that makes it seem like it's an easy thing to do. And just like with anything, foam rolling is a practice. Let's bring it down a notch. So we're at the middle point of this armpit slash lat roll. The latissimus dorsi is those big upper back muscles. So whenever we do our deadlifts or our bent over rows, a lot of you take classes with me and we did some of those yesterday. We're gonna get right into that spot. And then let's move it down one more notch. Ooh, hello. Continue this conversation. It's a very intimate conversation we're having with our bodies right now. So be vulnerable. You're all muted, so you can be making any types of sounds you need to make. All right. Once you feel complete there, let's take another on the, we're gonna keep moving from upper body to lower body here. So I am going to stay with this medium one. Let's go into the calves. The calves are calves. There's a little bit of my East Coast. So I'm currently in Oakland. I've been on the West Coast for 22 years, but I'm originally from New Jersey and New York. So occasionally there's gonna be a little East Coast coming out. So calves are some of the most, they're our biggest teachers. They can be our biggest teachers. And again, 3 different sections. So I want you to start first right up at the top. And I need to research this. I won't recommend that you do this, but I like to take it right into the knee crease. There's a lot of like crunchy bits for me back there. I have arthritis in my knees, so I can identify some of that with this roll, but it also feels like a nice release. But for us today, I want you to take it to the topmost part of your calf. And this is really where we can focus on one side versus both sides. So this is one of my favorite things to do. Take both feet and left and right, left and right, left and right, like windshield wipers. Go left and right, left and right, left and right. Ooh. So this is just an intro to the calves. We're just gonna figure out where we're tense in the calves. So take them left and right, take them in and out, in and out, in and out with the feet. Ooh, yeah, that gets into the outer edges of the calves. Ooh, lots of stuff happening in there on my body. And then take it down to the center, the meaty part of the calf. Now still keep both calves on there. I'm gonna let you go wild, go crazy buck, however you wanna go. But for now, let's just keep both calves on the roller, moving the feet vigorously left and right, in and out, in and out. Don't clang the knees together if you're doing the in and out version. And then take it down one more notch. Oof. Right before you get to your ankles, right before you get to that Achilles area. Lots of stuff happening in there. So you can very well stay with this. Stay good, and you can roll forward and back too. You can lift your hips up and do a little roll. Oh, so that's actually something I love to do. I forgot to mention this on the quads, but I like to go into 3 different sections and then do a full steam roll. A massage therapist usually does that. My massage therapist always does that. He'll do like the 3 different sections, then he'll just like roll it all down. This is a great time to grab a sip of water if you're not hydrating. Take that moment. And just a friendly reminder. And now If you want to get more pinpointy with your calves, you can cross one leg over the other. So now we only have one calf on there. All the spotlight is on, for me, the right calf. I'm identifying lots of things, and I am doing a little combo of both now. Now that I know how it feels to do the right and left, I'm doing some of that, and I'm also moving up and down. So this does require some arm strength because we're lifting our seat up. But you'll notice if you put your seat down, that's how you can regulate the amount of depth that you get with your roll. So play with that too. Play with lifting the butt, play with having the butt relax down on the mat. And then as always, find that other calf. If you're doing the isolation of one calf, isolate the other calf too. Taking those nice deep breaths. We're all gonna take a nap after this. No, I'm gonna give us some, I'll wake us all up after this, please. I mean, most of you know me from high intensity, so you know I have the power to wake us all up again. All right, calves. You know, you can do the hamstrings if you want to. I don't really find much in the hamstrings, to be honest. But take them there just to feel it, feel the hamstrings. And I think the full roll forward and back feels, actually I take it back, this does feel good. I have not taken my, I call this one the meat grinder. That's so gross. But now this is the heavy duty one. Okay, I totally take it back now. I totally feel it with the more heavy duty one that has like the industrial knuckles on it. But again, I don't really get much bang for the buck out of the hamstring, so I personally don't spend a lot of time there. If you're finding some juicy bits in there that you want to work through them. And now I want to take you through another variation of the longer roller. So if you don't have let me think about this. If you don't have the longer roller, go back to something on your back. In fact, let's all take whatever length roller you have. Let's take it again, horizontal or parallel rather, to the top and the bottom of the mat. Before we get into the spinal roll, so I like to have it length of spine too. There's lots of things we're gonna find in there. I like to take a seat. So let's do this. Lift your butt up, roll that roller in between your butt and your heels. Roll all the way back onto your back. And now press down through your feet, lift your hips up, and then put the meaty part of your butt, the glutes, onto the roller. And now from here, you can do these windshield wipers of the knees. So the feet are wide, the knees are dropping left and right. There's one particularly juicy thing I want to show you here. I keep saying that word, juicy, but that's really what it is. So have one foot now firmly planted on the floor. Extend the other leg out long. And you could stop right here. This is a great place to be. This is opening up space on the top of the hip here, the hip flexor on the extended leg. You can notch it up a bit by taking this opposite knee in towards the chest. Oh, hallelujah. This is the one. So now what I've discovered from this point is taking a spinal twist on the foam roller. So make sure that the foam roller is not on your lower back. You never, ever want the foam roller to be on your lower back, ever. Like there's no exceptions. And then what you can do for a spinal twist though is you bring one knee over to the side. I'm allowing this foot to touch down just to give me some support there. And then I'm gonna open up the opposite arm and take that all the way over. And what I like to do with the longer foam roller here is to have this hand come to the opposite edge of the foam roller. This is opening up space on the outer. For me, I have my right leg coming over towards the left, so my right hip and glute is opening up here. Ooh, getting that spinal twist as well. If you're in this with me, take one more deep breath. Take yourself back to center. And now let's extend both legs out long. Ooh, yeah. So glutes are still on the roller. And now what this is doing is still allowing the feet to drop down below the hips. So the hips are lifted. You're getting this beautiful, delicious stretch on the hip flexors. And now bring the left foot to the floor or the other foot to the floor. You can keep it right there if that feels good, or you can bring that knee into the chest. Oh, yes. My body gets so excited by the foam roller. So another little secret I want to share with you, if you want to join me for this one, come into the spinal twist on the second side. I will sometimes, I'm such a fan of Zoom. I'm such a fan of serving and receiving Zoom classes. And I'm fortunate to be part of the Left Coast Power Yoga family. So I have a lot of friends that are yogis, a lot of friends that are yoga teachers. And what I'll often do just for accountability is I'll sign up for a class. So I have that hour-long block. I have that hour blocked off. I know I'm going to be getting into my body in some way. And sometimes I'll start the flow just to get the muscles warmed up, and I'll flow with the teacher, and I'll do the intro, sun salutations. And then a lot of times I'll spend like 45 minutes just on the foam roller. And I'll be listening to them, and I'll be doing things that maybe do things that they're doing as far as what areas are being opened. Let's bring this back to the center. And now if you want, you can explore bringing both knees up and letting both knees drop left and right. If anything in your low back hints that this is a bad idea, immediately bring the feet back down to the floor. You can hold on to both edges of the foam roller here. And then bring the feet down. We're gonna come off the roller gently. So press down through your feet, lift the hips up, and then switch the roller down in between your butt and your heels. And now we're gonna flip it. So we're gonna flip the foam roller, and you can only do this with one that's gonna be the full length of spine. So if you don't have a full length of spine roller, this is your cue to go into any other roll that you wanna do. If you're on a full length foam roller, bring your tailbone to the very bottom, and then you wanna roll your spine down, 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 down. And you wanna make sure that your head is fully supported. So if you need to do a little scooch-a-dooch, do your scooch-a-dooch, do what you gotta do. And then from here, I will guide you. I have no idea what religion or spirituality you have, if any, it doesn't matter. I call this Jesus arms. You're gonna bring your arms out to the sides. I hope that does not offend anybody. It's not meant to offend, but it's just like, we're like on the cross here, right? So the arms come out long to the left and right. You're gonna take a deep breath in through the nose. And a big old exhale to release. I'm just laughing because this music sounds very like spiritual. Perfect soundtrack. So this is going to be one of those examples. And you can take your feet as wide as you need to feel supported. And this is one of those scenarios where we're just going to hold this in stillness, because like I mentioned before with stretching, it's only until the first 20 seconds. Right now, your body's still in a little bit of like, I don't know if I trust you. I don't think I trust what's going on here. But then all of a sudden, it's gonna release. Epic, right? The song is very epic. So you're gonna find opening across your chest, your pectoral muscles. You could stay here, or you can start to bring some motion into the arms, bringing the arms and the hands up towards one another. And then like a big snow angel, bringing the hands down by the sides of the hips. And then finding a few of those arms wash all the way up. And then they wave all the way down. Ooh, hello crunchy bits. I'm finding some snap, crackles, and pops in my shoulder blades here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm now gonna take this into more of a scarecrow. So halfway, I'm gonna bend my elbows and then extend them back up above the head. So it's not a full angel, it's just a bent elbows. And then from those bent elbows, you can bring your hands around one another. Now be careful if you do this, because you're gonna find yourself a little teetery-tottery. But you can take your big hug here, hands wrapping around, finding those shoulder blades. And then open the arms back out. Find those goalpost or cactus arms, bringing the elbows towards the side bodies, and then bringing them up and out. Hands come towards one another above your head. And just find a couple more of those. Oh yeah, lots of crunchies in there. Oh my goodness. I just looked at my clock. Did you just get lost in time like I did? So this is actually perfect. We're gonna take a gentle roll. The only way to come off the roller is dead fish style. So just gently dead fish yourself over to the side. And then scooch that roller away. We did not get into the shoulders today, I realize. That's like the one last bit. But I do want to take us back into the neck. So roller of choice, I'm going to choose my mid-tension roller. Bring it back underneath the head. Close your eyes if that feels all right. Look over one shoulder. Look over the other shoulder. Look over that first shoulder again. And now keep the chin over towards that shoulder. And then bring the chin up and down. Getting a roll. I can't really do this with my AirPods, but I know because I do this every night. You can get the foam roller into your jaw. So we all hold tension in our jaw. Allow the foam roller to wash away some of that tension from your jaw. So you do that by moving the chin up and down gently. And then find that on the other side. So we're coming close, folks. We're coming close to the top of our hour here. Amimi Wo, this is your disco wellness foam rolling moment. And this time of day is very sacred. I have some disco ballers in the room right now. So on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 12:15 to 1 p.m. PST, 3:15 to 4 p.m. EST, I host a live class here on Zoom, not on Facebook, for the Disco Ballers Club. If you're interested in that at all, send me a little note in the chat. We meet every Tuesday and Thursday. And now that I know that there's interest in this Wednesday slot, I often just do my own thing for my own body during this time. But I am so excited to serve some pop-up workshops like this. If you have anything in your body that you want to explore in whatever way, I'm so down to get creative, to do things that we've never done before, to get innovative and supportive and loving towards our bodies. Bring your head to center. Take one hand to heart. Take one hand to belly. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale, let it go. And either out loud or to yourself, say thank you, body. I love you, body. Open your eyes. Gently roll to one side. Find your fetal position. Pressing yourself up to a comfortable seat. If you gotta scoot, you gotta scoot. I totally get it. It's still the middle of a Wednesday. Let's all find a comfortable seat if you're able to, as we seal this beautiful and delicious practice with a deep inhale. First, let all the air out of your body. Deep inhale through the nose. Big open mouth exhale, let everything go. Bowing chin towards chest as always. The disco ball inside of me sees the same magnificent disco ball inside of you. And I bow to that. Oh, what an honor to be part of this journey with you. If you have any questions, put them in the chat. You've got my email. I've got yours. So let me know. If you don't want to be on my email list, some of you are here from my email list, so I know you want to be here. If you do want to be on my email list and you're not, let me know. And I'll see you again in some capacity very soon. It's been an honor to be here with you today in your beautiful, strong body. Amimi Wo. I'll see you soon. Feel free to unmute yourself. I'm going to pause the